Hey gamers, welcome to another gamer video. I want to talk about my general thoughts on DK Bonanza. I beat the main game. I'm currently trying to do the post-game challenge stuff with the Bonanza rehearsals. I have some thoughts about this game. I liked it. It was overall a decent platformer. I think it's a good game for the Switch too. Uh, but I will say I think it did kind of stay a little too long. Some worlds did just feel like padding that I don't think the game needed. Like there's some area where I was like ready to move on. I go down to the next layer and it's still the same kind of style like layer. The one layer I fucking hated was the food layer or whatever. The one where we're trying to build a burger. I hated that layer. I hated it so much. Like I could not leave that layer fast enough. It was a pain to travel around it. I hated everything about it. Like that part I had to put the game down for a while because it's like I hate it. It's visually ugly. It's not fun and I hated it. It was just it was a miserable time. That's like the one level. If they took it out of the game, I it would be a better game. I thought I was gonna hate the racing level, but that's way better than the fast food level, which is trash. I hated it. Uh, but after that, it got the game started to pick up again, and it got a lot better. Where the you go to near the core of the planet, and you're in this weird like crystallized area where you're running into these uh um what do they call them, the stone people. I can't remember what they call rock to whatever. I'm just gonna call them stones, whatever. And they tell you to get out, leave, uh or pay me this amount. I like the ambiguous, like ominous energy in that area. Like that was kind of when I was like, okay, now I'm back into this. Now you got me. And then I had the issue of like, oh, I have to grind for bananium, which I lost a lot because I died a lot. So it's like, okay, I have to go back and just grind that, get some bananas I missed because why not, and whatever. But it was still a very fun leg of the game. That's where the game picked up again. And then you run into K. Rool, which was really cool. I like that they kind of treated him as like uh a sealed evil. Like, oh, he's sealed away, and then the heroes come in and they unknowingly unsealed the ultimate evil, King Cruel. So that was kind of cool. I liked the presentation of that. I liked the final build up to that boss fight, though. I did not like that boss fight in some cases. It was a fun boss fight, but I kind of hated it in the sense that uh he would do a move where he would shoot up all these like little bombs that would scatter on the floor, and you can hit the bombs and they would explode. And at the same time, there was like sludge or ash or whatever that was like showing up on the floor, and it's like and I didn't understand. I know using I was stuck using the elephant power up at that point, sure, but it's like, should I explode the bombs before or at, like, it that to me was confusing, and I kept losing health because I wasn't either sucking up in time the ash, or I jumped into a little pixel of it. So it was just kind of whatever. I didn't like that. I don't like when you make the entire floor like not safe, because it adds a level of stress that's already going on with the fight itself, because it's not like you have enough time, because not only do you have to clean the floor, you also have to take care of like any attacks that the main boss is doing. You have to hit the main boss as well, so there's all this stuff you have to do at the same time, and it's like, I it's whatever for me. But I dealt with it, and I just kind of like was like, whatever, I'll deal with it. It's still overall a decent boss fight. It's just that one part I didn't like that much. Uh, then we got to the end game. Now, as with the full game is fine. It's straightforward. I think it's a solid game for the Switch too. Like if you have a Switch 2, I don't see why you shouldn't play this. Like, why not? I will say though, this I started noticing this when I listened to like Jump Up Superstar. I appreciate DK Bonanza a lot more because I like that the story centers around DK and Pauline. That adds a layer that I think goes a long way in the lore. I know a lot of people were like confused and upset that this kind of retcons established DK lore or whatever. I don't think that was really established. I don't think Nintendo cares, to be honest. But I do like that this is about Pauline getting confidence in singing and all this. So you're going through all this throughout the game. She's getting better at singing. She's getting more confident in herself and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, as I'm listening to Jump Up Superstar, it's like, yeah, like that's really cool. Like, she starts off as this shy person. She's not like confident in her abilities to sing. Then in this game, she gets really confident about it, and to the end game, she wants to get better and get more inspiration to sing more songs. And then you fast forward to Mario Odyssey, and she's like she's grown up, and she wants to, and she's like running a band. So it's like really cool. I kind of like that development with this character. So I think this goes a long way for Pauline as a character, and it just makes me like that character more than because before all Pauline was well, she was just a damsel in distress. DK put her, kidnapped her or whatever, and Mario saved her. Like that's all we do of Pauline, and it's like here at least they're giving her more uh backstory and all this. So I like what they did more with this. I would much rather have stories retcon established lore if it means giving a character something more in their backstory than just well she was kidnapped by DK that's her origin. It's like well at least here it's like they're giving her more than that. They're giving her like an actual reason to want to sing. So let's get back to the gameplay of DK Bonanza because I don't think anyone truly cares about story when it comes to any Nintendo game. Maybe except for Zelda. I think Zelda's the only game that is worth talking about story comparatively. Uh, you got the Bonanza rehearsals. When I started doing these, a thought popped up in my head. And this is probably the one big complaint I have for this game. These rehearsals kind of test you on your proficiency on all these power-ups as if you use them. This game doesn't really give you a reason to use these power-ups at all. The last area as you're making your way to the boxing ring for K. Rool has done more to put you has done more to give you incentive to use these power-ups than the rest of the game. And I appreciate a game giving the option, but I also wish that like it was designed a little bit more where you're like, okay, what if I use this? Maybe that's gonna change how this boss fight works. Like I never felt that I was ever pushed to think about these power ups in any meaningful way, in any area of the game. Uh, to the extent that I'd be as proficient as the Bonanza rehearsals are demanding of me. Like the one that made me really realize this was the zebra challenge. That had me doing stuff that I didn't even think was relevant to the zebra. It's like I wouldn't think about this. Why am I now being challenged on this here and not throughout the game itself? Like it's that kind of stuff I think is a little bit jarring. That you could arguably say that the platforming is like an afterthought in DK Bonanza, and I see why. To bring up DSP because DSP is a I've talked about DSP on this channel, and DSP was very vocal about this game. I find it funny though that he never tried the Bonanza rehearsal stuff like at all. So he doesn't even know the difficulty spike that's waiting for him in that part. But he has said basically the same thing where the platforming was an afterthought. And at first I was kind of saying this is kind of dumb because they hyped up the most the destructibility of the game. And that's you could do that, which is fine. But they also doesn't like push you to platform as much as the Bonanza rehearsals would want you to do. So in one hand, I kind of see what DSP was kind of saying about this game. I do disagree in the sense that I don't think these levels are necessarily boring or samey. I didn't feel that all these levels are the same, but I just felt that uh I never felt that, like, just in regards to the power-ups, I just don't think that they were that important. Like, they kind of give them this presentation as if, oh, you got the ostrich power, now you can do all this kind of cool stuff. And then, like, the next world, I never had to think about the ostrich ability. I never had to think about the zebra ability that much. Like, they don't really utilize these things in any meaningful way, which I think is kind of a bummer. Like, you don't go to an area after the zebra where, oh, this platform is still kind of like weak, I should do the zebra and see if I can just run past it. I never thought that, like, in any other area. uh I think they ask you more to be more in relation to what is going on within the environment and what you can destroy and stuff like that, but not so much can you use the abilities in this kind of way. The only ability I found more applicable is the snake ability. And I kind of feel the snake bonanza rehearsal is probably going to be stuff that I didn't think you could do with a snake. Honestly, the slowdown mechanic, I never thought about in that game ever. So I'm sure that bonanza rehearsal is going to use the slowdown mechanic a lot. So I just have this weird, like, feeling that a lot of this stuff is, I wouldn't say it's an afterthought, but I just don't know what was the point of the bonanza rehearsals. It just seemed like this is just a challenge that you're just gonna get good at by doing the challenge and not by playing the game. And I think that's not a good way for that kind of challenge to work. Like, in comparison, you have the Kirby game, Forgotten Kingdom, where the challenging stuff was like, yeah, you've done this before, but we made it harder, so you kind of have to, like, get better at this fight. And it's like, okay, well, at least I have the experience of the fight, so I know what to look for and how and all that. This, it's like, I didn't know the zebra. I would have to do this with the zebra ability. What are we doing here? The ostrich ability is more honest in what it expects you to do, even though I suck with it. I've never used the ostrich ability outside of the ostrich layer, so it's like, so it's a mess by the end. When it comes to the level of proficiency they expect you to have with these abilities when you barely use them until, like, the very end, and then it's like, there you go. But is DK Bonanza a good game? I think it's good. I think that it is. I will say this is definitely a game that is not gonna land with everyone. I was playing it. I was like, yeah, Mario Odyssey. I didn't like Mario Odyssey as much as everyone else did, but I played it knowing, okay, I can recommend Mario Odyssey easily because anyone could pick it up and play it. This game, it's really gonna just be, if you're not into the destructibility of it and all that, you're probably not gonna care about this game. The combat is not that hard. It's piss easy. So if you want challenging combat, this isn't it either. So it's like, I can't recommend it unless you're really itching for a game. Meanwhile, Mario Odyssey, I will say, is more applicable to anyone. Anyone could pick that game up and enjoy it. The only thing I hate about Mario Odyssey, I don't like the post game content. I hate it. It's a slog. I dropped it. Uh, when it got to that part, it's like, I don't like this. This isn't fun. I don't care. I'll move on. Because I don't. Because Mario post game stuff is never really that entertaining to me. I never cared, and Mario Odyssey just felt like just wasn't even interesting to me. Uh, Meanwhile, DK Bonanza, it's like, I feel it's more attainable for me, but it's harder because I've not used these abilities as much to be accustomed to it. Because the ostrich ability right now in that ostrich bonanza, it just feels like I don't know why I'm losing to it. Like, I would fly into through the lava circles that they put in the sky, And I was like, okay, I should be able to land perfectly. And then I don't land on the platform I'm supposed to land on. It's like, what did I do? What did I? How did I not land perfectly? So it's like that kind of stuff I don't understand. Uh, what I'm doing wrong. I've done it multiple times. I've watched YouTube videos on how other people did it, and I still can't get it. So it's beyond me. But that's it. If I were to rate DK Bonanza, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7. Like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 is I think is fine. It's good for this kind of game. It does kind of feel like it's a holdover from Switch One, which I think it was. I think they initially wanted it on Switch One. They hardware couldn't handle it, so they put it on Switch Two. So this just kind of seems like a holdover and a intermediary between another Mario game that's gonna come out eventually. So that's what I have to say about that. See you in the next one. Bye.